Mayor Beng, buenos dias a todos, for those who are here. First, before I do the update, I'd like to congratulate first Sir Pete and his group for winning, including my daughter who's a swimmer and she's graduating this year for their high school, so this will be her last. Hopefully you can bring the bacon home in the palaro. Anyway, we started with the blackouts again. This is basically curtailment. Why? Because there is lack of power supply. What happened with the Mindanao now? Why blackout? Until now, we are just basing our reason based on what NGCP is giving. We do not have a clear situation as to really what happened, and since we're just receiving the power from NGCP, thus we base all our all our comments on the NGCP update. Now, with the current situation, PSAM, or the hydro plants, it's only giving us around 42 megawatts. So you add 18 megawatts from TMI, and you also add 3 megawatts from Mapalad. Therefore, we're just having around 63. The city needs around 80 megawatts, so we're still short. So what are we doing to address this? We just got our letter of credit, standby letter of credit from DBP only last week. When I came in last December, we started the paperwork to request for that standby letter of credit. So we already wrote last week to Mapalad requesting the additional of 15, because based on the PCA, or the power sales agreement with Mapalad, they're supposed to provide us 18 megawatts. But before the blackout, they were just supplying with only 3 megawatts, and that was sufficient at that time. But even though it was sufficient by December, we were already doing the process to get the additional of 15. Now, even if we don't use the total of 18 megawatts, this can be sold to the open market, or the INEM, or the Interim Mindanao Electric Market. But given the situation right now, the 15 megawatts, we really need that. So also, we already finalized, or the board already came up with a resolution awarding the winner for the bidding for the 16 megawatt modular genset. Now, we cannot make the announcement. It's the board president that will make the announcement, because the resolution has been forwarded to NEA, okay, and DOE. Now, what is this 16 megawatt modular genset? Way back, sometime mid last year, the DOE secretary came over here, and the DOE has a package, meaning this package, they will be the one to give the loan or the money for the purchase of modular gensets. It's the co-op that would determine how many megawatts do we need. So then Samselco applied for the 16 megawatt modular genset. So what will happen now? Since we're done with the bidding, we're going to award this soon. It will take around 6 months for these modular gensets to be in the pipeline. But we won't be doing this as 16. So we'll be doing this by tranches, okay? So whatever, because it will, the installation, construction will take a while. So what we'll be doing is by tranches. Now, for the 16 megawatt modular genset, for the first 2 years, we'll only be paying the interest of the loan and the fuel cost. The amortization of the loan will not be paying. Why? Because after 2 years, it's the co-op that will decide whether or not to really get that modular genset and be embedded in the city. So then, after 2 years, that's where we decide if and when, how many megawatts do we get the entire, or do we leave a certain megawatts for the city as embedded? Because we are seeing that by 2016, SRPI, the coal plant, will be up and running already. So, if and when we do not get the entire 16 megawatt modular genset after 2 years, only a certain megawatts for after 2 years, DOE will get that modular genset and put it to the off-grid. Off-grid means those islands are not connected to the grid in Mindanao, Visayas, and Luzon. So, the associations of co-op, AMRECO, they came up with a bidding, but twice there was a failed bidding. And Samselco did not join this group because the approval still would be coming from DOE. Why DOE? Because they're going to give the money. And why DOE? Because after 2 years, if we don't get that equipment, DOE would like to ensure that this equipment, the specifications of this modular genset is good. Because if we don't get the modular gensets after 2 years and we just purchase the SOSO generators, then we'll be wasting government money again. Now for the crystal sugar, way back they were just giving us around 3 to 4 megawatts. We're also in the process. Last week we also wrote ERC, DOE, including the Office of the Mayor and our 2 congressmen to help seek ERC's approval to expedite, because it will take you around 75 days for ERC to approve any contract from the co-op with any IPP or independent power provider. Crystal Sugar, through the through Congressman Salzo Lobregat, he was able to intercede. We got in touch with him, and that they're going to give us 7 megawatts for March and April only, because their operation, again, this is coming from the sugar industry, their operation will end by April this year. So we'll be having additional 7 megawatts for the month. Likewise, though it's still a long shot, we already got the letter of intent for a solar power a provider as well. Way back, I guess everybody heard about Infinity they were offering us, but the negotiations fizzled out. And this time around, we were looking and we got a letter of intent. This is the start, because from the letter of intent, then we'll start the negotiation again, come up with the PSA, and go through with the ERC public hearing as well on the rates. So we're expecting around 10 more megawatts. Now, as to the brownout, what's happening nowadays, most of us would like to have light. Okay, light per se. So the city, given the situation right now, will not be in the dark. So what do we do? Yes, everybody can help. The thing that we can do right now is to conserve power. Meaning, the demand of power during the night is quite high. Why? Given the number of people here, when we go home, say 5 o'clock, how many of us will open our television sets? How many of us will open additional electric fan units? How many of us will open our air conditioner at home? How many of us will do the ironing? Meaning, the demand of electricity power at night is really high. So, if we don't want the entire city to be in the dark, what we can do is to conserve energy. If we only have this much of supply coming from PSAM and GCP, which is just transmitting all the power here, what we can do is to conserve energy. Instead of opening a lot of appliances at home, why don't we open it up? Again, we hear comments, okay, how about our teleserye at night? We've been doing this in and out. So again, we can be responsible consumers if we really would like to have light. At least the city will not be in the dark. So far, that would be my update. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer George Ledesma.